Hey guys, welcome to Fearless Mods. I'm Biff, and today we are back working on the 2005 Nissan Titan. We are going to do a little bit of work on the inner fenders where we got a little bit of rubbing on our flaps, and then we're going to do a permanent water seal on it while we have a nice day outside, so when the rain comes, we're not just shoveling water back into our inner door. One thing I'm doing is I'm wearing my B is for Build tribute shirt for Chris. Just want to throw some support out there for Chris. Brother, we're all out here supporting you. Millions of people that are subscribed to you and really care about your health and well-being. And I really appreciate that last video you put out, really heartfelt. And we're pulling for you, brother. You're going to pull through this. You're going to be great. And we're going to see more great things from you for years to come. So, Chris, wearing your shirt again for the first time in many years. But you're where I got my start and inspiration. So with that, let's get to the Titan. So what we've got here is this area where we've cut out some stuff from the inner fender liner, the flap, and even a little bit of the metal structure here. But when we cut the wheels left, backing out usually, we're still getting a little bit of rubs here, and you can see them in the form of these cuts kind of just barely into the surface here. So I want to first address why this side's rubbing, the other side doesn't seem to be. With it being cut, I'm pretty certain it's hitting metal and not just the plastic, though the plastic is what you hear flipping around. It looks like there's maybe some evidence of touch right up here on this just a little bit, where maybe it's catching there and flipping. My plan here is to first get it to stop rubbing, and then, oh, that's smooth. That's where it's rubbing too. Fill this in with some kind of waterproofing foam that expands, and then coat it with some rubber flex seal to keep any more water from intruding in there, at least from this side. This metal piece right here is really shiny and smooth, so I think we need to cut a little more of that out. That bolt's pretty much gone anyway, so we might as well just cut that out and eliminate the rubs along this whole line. Cut this out higher so we don't get the rubs here, and we have more room in here to then go ahead and put in our water protection and seal it up. This side over here looks a lot better, even though it protrudes a little bit more and we kept a little more of that bolt. It's not really doing any good. We're not going to be able to get it out per se. So I'll probably go ahead and trim that back a little bit too, just to make that straighter. I don't see anything that is indicating a rub, except maybe a slight little bit right here where this is shined up. But like I said, I already plan on cutting it from about here and then down. Let's go ahead and jack this up and get the wheels off so we have some room to work. Okay, we've got it jacked up, and before we pull the wheel off, I just want to show you this here. And with it over a full lock, you can see the curvature of my cutout pretty much matches the curvature of the tire. But that's on full droop. When we set her down, that brings it up closer to this point. So again, I just want to trim that out a little bit straighter up to here. The driver's side, on the other hand, as we bring it in, it still approximates it, but it's a little closer. I think we either might be getting a little bit of flippy noise here, or perhaps when this is compressed up, it's not touching that at all. But that is a little closer. I'll look and see if maybe I want to trim just a little bit more off on that angle. Maybe take it out to the point there, just to give it a little more room. But again, when you compress this up, it's certainly touching up into here, and we know that. And that's where we're getting our cuts on this edge, and that lines up pretty well with where they are. With that, we'll go ahead and take the wheels off and get to cutting some plastic and metal. First, let's just get rid of some of these pieces of plastic here. Okay, there we go. As you can see, precision cutting and work, but now we have exposed more right here where we can trim this guy out. Last thing I want to do is get a little bit of this tip off here. There we go. Want to make sure I have a way for water to drain out that does get in there. It looks like there's a drip hole right here, so we should be good. On the passenger side, we've determined that the fender liner comes down a little bit lower, and that's because there's an electrical connection under there. It's the body connector from the front and aft harnesses, and so that water shield needs to be down a little bit lower than what we're able to do here and cut it up higher. It comes down to about here. So we need to have some support on that and keep it from flapping around. So the way we're going to handle it is just to cut a piece of metal to create a strap there. There is a little bit of metal already attached to the back side of the fender liner in that spot. So we can do a self-tapper behind that. It'll be good and solid. And then a self-tapper into the body. And then that'll give us a way to secure that. And that should be good enough to give us our bracket. Go ahead and get rid of this piece and then we can put in our strap. We're looking really good right here. I'll get the grinder, the flap disc, and just kind of clean that up a little bit. There we go. And now we'll just fasten that guy up to there, and we are good to go. There we go. Got our flange that goes across, bolted in a couple spots, give us our security and protect this electrical connector. We'll clean it up and then we'll fill it with foam. We still got a weep hole on this side as well that I can see going down through here. So we just want to make sure that we don't fill that with foam. And then we'll look at maybe getting some cardboard or something in there as a backer, something that will allow us to spray our Flex Seal on and cover this in. Outstanding. I think our problems are going to be solved. Let's blow these out and clean them up. After I've got the foam in and I put it over the foam, I've trimmed the foam. And then I put this over the foam so I get a good surface to spray my Flex Seal on. So I'm just kind of getting that trimmed up a little bit. Don't need it right at this minute. So first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and fill this with the foam. We've cleaned it up, it's dried out. I just wanna stuff a little something there to keep the foam from expanding down into that hole. I chose the home seal because of all the different sealers, this one is the one that says that it blocks water. The best this stuff does is kind of resist water, and we know we're gonna get water in there anyway. I'm not looking to make this be the seal. I'm just looking to give myself something as a backer that I can get the Flex Seal on, which will go on after this stuff has cured and been trimmed. Might be about all I can do on this side. Good filling coverage there. Let's go take a look at the other side. We're looking pretty good. Let's let that stuff cure up and then get ready to come in there with our knife and trim it all flat, get a piece of cardboard in there and coat it up. This stuff is set up. It's been a couple hours. It all kind of sagged down a little more than I expected, but it is nice and big and dry. And we're ready to start cutting on it. I've got a flat saw, I've got a drywall saw, my utility knife, and a razor blade. Still a little gooey inside, grody. Might have to let that continue to set up a little bit here after we get the first cuts. Let's go do the same thing on the other side so it can also dry. Still got a little bit of girth there that I'd like to get rid of to set this back a little. We don't want to bring it right back out where it was rubbing. I'm trying to get this done because we got more work we want to do to the truck. We are hardening up, so let's see if we can do a little more trimming here. Looking good. Bit of tape to hold around the side here. Keep this flat. That side is ready. Mask off around here. so we don't overspray too far. And there we go. That's where we will spray. We don't need it to look pretty. We just want it to be thick and to seal it up. It says 2 to 6 hours to the touch, 24 hours to fully cure. Let's go tape up the other side and get some of that started. Hey, if you can float a boat with this stuff, why shouldn't it work for this, right? I don't care that there's runs. That's just good goop. We'll let it set for a little bit, and then we'll come in and we'll make sure we're getting this seam down here really good, so we can try to keep the water from being forced into there. And that, we're gonna say, is a job well done. This side, you can see from where the flap is all the way up, we got a nice curvature now that allows that tire to get in there and turn. So we're gonna solve the problem of our tire rubbing when we turn. And we also have a nice flexible rubbery seal in there that is gonna keep moisture from getting back into the fender and causing any inside out rusting issues more than normal. There's still moisture to get it back there, but we still have our weep hole and it's functional. So this is gonna keep the major amounts of moisture and water from just going straight back in there. Really happy with this. If we need to pull out the fender liner, we can always cut around that seal and pull it out and then just reseal it when we're done. But I'm gonna say that I'm pretty happy with that, and that looks really nice. Let's go look at the other side. And this side actually looks maybe even a little bit better because of that inner structure drops all the way down and comes across nice and clean. But that is a good looking cut back and patch, if I say so myself. And again, we got a really good line here from the inside of the fender that kind of has a curvature here, but it's tucked back, so we should again be good to go on our rubbing problems, which were primarily on the other side, as well as any moisture problems. This was the final touch we needed to finish off this lift kit. The short that I just published, if you didn't see that one, go check it out. People have been asking me how I've liked it. I've got a couple thousand miles on it. I showed you some of the issues we had, some of the fixes we did to them. You might have seen that where we came in and we cut a notch out here because we're getting a little contact here. On both sides on the front, and then we also retightened up the rear U-bolts because they had come a little bit loose. Got rid of all of our weird clunks and noises that we were hearing. And I gotta say, with these little fixes, I'm really pleased with it. So, lift kit complete. It drives great, it looks great. Now it's gonna be sealed from the weather and the elements, and we're not gonna have any more rubs on the tires. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you have not reached down there and liked and subscribed yet, please do the subscribe part, but certainly the like part also. I'm Biff, this is Fearless Mods. Thanks for watching, you take care.